you played mainly two running backs, more so than trying to alternate. The positives and negatives of lathering a couple guys up and getting them a ton of carries rather than rotating a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's kind of what we try for. This was the first game where we actually had two guys that got into a rhythm, and you didn't want to really ruin that. I thought Letty came out and he hit that. It was like a 17-yard run that ended up getting called back for an illegal block in the back, but you ended up getting those guys in a rhythm, and I thought they were rushing the ball effectively, and it was just kind of a 1-2 punch right there. You wanted to get sync in the game at times, but we kind of pulled off of that just based off of the flow of the game. I thought Coach Blackwell did a really good job of just managing that. And I thought Petaway and Kennedy did a really good job.
Dana said Giovanni Haskins is really coming to his own the last couple weeks, and we've seen it with him in the past game. Just why is he coming into his own?
He's a big target. Like, you guys see him out there. He causes a lot of matchup problems. His catch radius is very comforting for Will to throw to. So you put him on these underneath routes, intermediate routes where he doesn't have to be as accurate with the ball. And Giovanni and even Wesco, when you catch the ball, those guys naturally fall forward for a few yards, which I thought we were really efficient on hitting these quick hook routes on the perimeter where he was catching, getting upfield, and getting about 10 yards every time we did that. So I think that's what makes it so comforting for Giovanni for Will and Giovanni is that it's such a big target. I think he's very athletic at times too, so you're going to see him a lot in the pass game. But you can also utilize him and just give some of those receivers a break. Where we feel comfortable where he's at, and you don't have to go to those 4 wide sets because he can actually act as a receiver out there.
Yesterday, Dana said that was the best throw he had ever seen. Will to Gary, just
yeah.
where does it rank in your estimation? What made it so special?
I've seen that happen in practice a lot. That's the first time it's happened in a game, and I just think that you've heard me talk about this multiple times over the past year in terms of the continuity that they have, and that is what makes that such a difficult throw. Is it's a down the field throw where they actually matched pretty well with them, where you have to be accurate with it. But Will was kind of scrambling and moving out to the right where he had to naturally shut his footwork down, where it looks like he's throwing off balance, but what he's really trying to do is that internal clock and that spatial awareness of how much space he's got left in the red zone, that he had to shut it down and get rid of it based off of the demeanor of how Gary was full speed trying to take it over the top. And if you look at it on tape, he releases the ball when Gary's about at the 20-yard line. And it's pretty impressive where he's got to get that out quick and just put it to one spot there possibly was. And it was really good on Will in terms of knowing the layers of the defense, the timing of the play, and how much space he had left. So that's all hard to calculate in fractions of a second because there's a lot going through your mind, especially with the pass rush and avoiding the pocket and being able to deliver that. So yeah, definitely one of the better throws I've ever seen.
Particular challenges that TCU presents at that 4-2 is a different look.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough challenge. This is a defense that is very good. They make you earn everything. They're more multiple than what they've been. They are a 4-2 front, but lately they've been doing a lot of odd packages based off of, I believe, injuries and moving around a lot of guys and giving that defensive line a break at times. And so you're going to see them move in and out a lot of different fronts, and they're really sound with it. I think it's going to be one of our toughest challenges as an offense moving forward, just on how they make you work for everything. You have to be on point. You can't take this one lightly because they're going to make you earn every single yard they produce.
2 ends, half of the sack system out. You have to consider maybe keeping Wesco as an extra blocker to chip and help out in tackles because they do a lot of pressure from that side.
They do. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to put them in account. Not just in pass rush, but also in the run game. They're very active in the run game. They do a lot of stunts and twists, especially front side into the run. We got to be patient in what we're trying to accomplish with our zone schemes because You can tell that he's been defending this stuff for a long time. He's very sound at doing it, and probably one of the best at it. And they're very disruptive with those defensive ends. Last year they gave us problems. For number 15, he would end up being at a defensive end and twist all the way and hit Will in the backside B gap. So you gotta be able to pass twists off and bump them all off. You got to make sure that if they are on the edge, you got to get hats on them because he can condense the pocket quickly and still be disruptive in the run game. So I think it's going to be a tough challenge for our O-line. One thing is that they're not sitting there stagnant and they're going to be moving around a lot. So we got to be able to pass off a lot of things to communicate.
They flip flop them. Do they line up on the same side?
They don't.
No.
They keep them right side, left side.
What goes through your mind, speaking of the line, when you see Yadney's been ejected? What kind of thoughts ran through that first?
It happened on a PAT, so it gave me a little time to kind of discuss and go through it. But that's what we talk about all the time. If we had a tackle go down, this is going to be our answer. You're going to put Kelby Wickline in the game as the swing tackle. If there was going to be another injury, then we're probably going to put Josh Sills out there to tackle. So you got to, as a coach, you always play, you have the contingency plans. But I was just trying to figure out what happened. There was like a couple plays with sportsmanlike with David Sills that got flagged, and then with the Yadney play, and I couldn't tell what was going on, and then I had no idea if there was an ejection or not. And once they kind of calmed everybody down and said he was out, he was going to the locker room, then we just kind of naturally went on our way. And you have to realize as a coach that you can't really bring it back, so you have to move forward with the plan. Same thing with the question I talked about with Jack Allison going in the game. If he goes down, Will goes out for a play. You got to move forward with the game plan and be comfortable with Jack in the game.
How did you think Kelby handled himself?
I thought he did a great job. We rep those kids a lot. I think Coach Wickline does a really good job at repping guys at all different spots and getting them prepared. And what people don't see is on Will's touchdown, they blitz a corner and Kelby kicks out to it and gives him enough time to throw the ball. And that just shows you where Kelby is mentally with the game, being a coach's kid. And he went out there and from a comfort standpoint for Will, I didn't see him being any rattled, like any hesitation with him, any just confusion of just putting the focus on the offensive line.
I think they were on their third DN overhand. Were you conscious of that, even though you had Kelby over there? They were down. And Hager went out.
Yeah, they got banged up. And
Yeah.
their corner went down. Safety didn't play. But that's the attrition of college football. I'm saying if you look at us too, we're pretty banged up as well. It's just that to that point in the season where you just gotta if someone goes down, you gotta move forward with what you got. Make sure that you can put those kids in the right position.
Were you trying to attack that a little bit though, or just regular normal offense?
It came into account. It was also we were running the ball behind Colton Kivitz too, which. He had a good edge to himself in this game, and we kind of put the emphasis on getting that way. I thought running behind Wesco was pretty effective too. And if you look at Petaway's run for a 20-yard run for a touchdown, like Wesco gets after the guy and blocks him probably about 15, 20 yards downfield.
You talked about getting the tight end involved. Is this what you envisioned with what Wesco's giving you with the run and passing?
Exactly. We're starting to get into a rhythm of it and starting to get comfortable with what he's doing. And I think that's just going to keep evolving. This is the time of the year where you got to be multiple with stuff, and those guys make us a lot more multiple as an offense.
It seems like he makes you guys more physical.
Very physical. I think that's something that Wesco brings to the game. I thought he played with an aggressive nature the entire game, and we need him to continue to bring that for the rest of these games.
Going to Colton's side on the run, that was the game plan going in, not an adjustment, I guess.
No, it was. It was. It's Colton. Like we knew that they're going to be in an odd front, and Colton's very good at that type of block. Where we were allowing the offensive line to block the box, and having Wesco block any of the perimeter stuff. And we knew that Colton could get that block, and Wesco was going to be on the safety. He actually blocked two guys on that touchdown run for a better way, which just when it comes down to it, you have the option, you can run either way, we like to go behind both.
Jake, on your offensive line, you dipped deeper than just, I think you used Mike.
And Mike Brown went in for 5 plays.
What do you have now? Who do you have? Just like,
Who do we have as players, you're saying? Like,
you feel good putting out there. It's different
Yeah,
than last previous ago.
I'm saying you get into that red shirt rule, and when you start playing a lot of games, and it was pretty hot down there on the field, you're going to use a lot of different bodies, and obviously injuries occur, and people had to play a little bit more snaps than usual, and we got to the end of the game where we do feel comfortable with Mike Brown coming in the game and giving guys a break, and I thought he actually had some pretty good energy too. You could tell you had a fresh guy in the game, especially in the fourth quarter. And I thought he did a good job, and you're going to continue to see that rotation at times. You'll get Joe Brown back in the mix. You got Hardy and Chase Barron, and then you got Josh Sills and Mike Brown. So you got about 5 guys right there that that you can move around a lot. A lot's based off of how they're feeling this week.
Hey, Dan mentioned that if you as a defense tip your hand a little bit, your quarterback would pick it up. I mean, he says he's as good as anybody. He's seen him doing that.
Yeah,
What goes into that? What goes into knowing what they're doing?
the thing that makes Will good is he's watching the game all the time. And the thing I appreciate about him is he's got our dialogue on the sideline. It's not just about, all right, here, the run game's working here. It's, all right, hey, they're starting to play a little more inside leverage and they're press bailing into the boundary. You can get back to your boundary hitch. That's something that's going to be good. We talked about a pop play down on the goal line that was going to be able to work if we got down into that situation again. And, it's just the overall awareness that he has of the game. And sometimes he has a better vantage point than us, and he understands what we're trying to accomplish and how they're playing it, and he's just got a good feel of what we're trying to do, so he can go out there and get us into the right play.
Felt like Texas was trying to do a lot of the same principles defensively that you'd seen last time you were on the road. Why were you able to attack it so much more successfully?
Yeah, I think we prepare for it all the time now. That is kind of the new fad that's going on right now in college football is the 3-2 box with the overhang stack backer at about 10 yards, and we were expecting them to get that into that a little bit. They played it a little bit more than what we thought, and kind of tweaked it a little bit differently than what they showed on tape. But we're well aware of that right now, and that's some of the adjustments that we did over the bye week. And I thought our kids handled it pretty good. They threw a lot of different fronts at us. They're in stack fronts and odd fronts, and then that diamond set that you're talking about right now in 4 down. And I thought they identified it well and they blocked it up well.